In this video, I'm gonna do my best to find lap time for this driver around this circuit. So let's get started. This is a lap around KF1 circuit. It's using all of the track to the left, which is good. Jumping over the curb there too. Too bad we lost the frames a bit, so let's go and watch them again. All right. So what he's doing basically is clipping that curb so that he's setting up that corner more. So that's really good. I would have done exactly the same. And here's spot on at the apex on the white line, and he's just carrying the speed, which is good. I see some drivers are going over there. You can see to that darkish side, but I wouldn't go, and you know, it really depends how much you prefer to gain here or whether to gain in the next one. Now, if you have the chance to still bring it back there, I would use a bit more track over here. So if you'd ask me, I would try to do a couple of laps trying to carry more speed over here, all right? And then try to still get to the same place where you want to be. So what it seems to me, you're not doing too much hard work. You know, your steering is pretty much straight all the way through. You see, like you're not making a big effort bringing the car back to the left. You know, you can see your steering is quite. Let's highlight it. Your steering is quite straight. Oh, that's not straight for my. All right, it's quite straight, and we have still quite a bit of time before we get to there. So if you were more to the right side, like with your right tires, you're here. Let's say you were here, just a bit more, not too much. I'm not suggesting you to be over there. I understand the reason why you're here. The reason is to prepare for the next corner. So you know, don't get me wrong. But we could possibly push a bit more there and be a little bit sharper with the steering to bring it back. You know, I understand that being smooth with the steering is important, but I think in this case, you know, at the end of a kind of like a straight, it's not really a straight, but you know, in this area, you're not really going to lose by being sharp with the steering. So what I would do is trying to get in exactly the same place you want to be, but using a bit more track here. It's definitely more difficult, but you know, if you want to find lap time and be faster, you have to do the difficult things. So that's what I would do. I would use a bit more track over there and still end up the same place where you want to be. So this is where you are. You seem to be with the left-hand tires on the grip. I'm not sure whether we could use a bit more. I mean, you have to experiment yourself. If you could use a tiny bit more track to the left, like I don't think you have to be to the white line, because what I suppose is that there's less grip over there. So I'm pretty sure your line is good. Possibly we could do a tiny bit more. Like if you'd ask me what I would do to try to find 1/10 overall through the lap, like maybe here we can find like 2/300 or half a tenth, but just being more to the left, you know. As I said, looks like the darkish side is here. You see that? Like the darkish side is here. So it looks like you can place your tires over here on the left. So if you place your left-hand tire here, I think you're gonna find some lap time. Whereas where I think you're going to go with your left-hand tires is like here. So I think we have a bit of margin over there. I would suggest to try and see how it goes from you. But you know, that's textbook rule. The more you open up the corners, the faster mid exits you're gonna get. You don't really gain on the entries. Actually, it's the opposite. But the overall delta gain is massive compared to being time. You know, all the time I make this example when I work with drivers and like a baby race. I'm like, okay, what if? So like, okay, my suggestion is to be with the left tires here. Let's say, all right. So let's say you're placing your card over here, even though that's not the exact width of the card. It's definitely less, but get me, like, try to. Now we are like this. Oops, just change the color so for clarity. Now it seems to be like in this kind of line, right? This kind of line, but what if you were here? Like, would this work? Would you be faster if you were there? No, because your line would be so tight, your entry would be decent, but then your mid exit would be terrible. So always think in extremes, and always also think in reverse. Like if I had to change something, would I be tighter? Would I be wider? In this case, I think I would try to be a bit wider, and I think you're gonna gain a little bit of extra time in the mid exit. You'll see in the data that the speed, so let's say arrive, this is the braking, even though it's not really a braking, so let's make it less steep. So let's say you're like coming like that, this is your speed, this is going like that, and the mid exit, this is like the mid exit. In this phase, you're gonna gain like that. So I think if I had to look in the data, you probably have this pretty much the same entry, but the mid exit will be quite a bit better. It's gonna be like that. You just be able to carry more mid exit speed because you open it up. Whereas let's do the opposite. If you were going tight, you would carry more entry speed probably, but then you would get stuck in the mid corner and then yeah, just everything would be bad. Mid-exit would be bad if you were here, right? If you were on the inside. So I'm just giving you the different ways I'm thinking of doing this corner, right? If you had to overtake, for sure you gain on the entry, but then mid-exit would be bad, obviously. So I would, long story short, try to open up the corner more and see how it goes. Apex at the right point, even though our frames, yeah, that's perfect. Track usage, listen, I watched this video already a few times, and I was watching this marks, and I'm like, okay, why are those marks there? Is it for sure, it's for sure because somebody crashed into there or just clipped the wheel. So either because they had some contacts with some drivers, or because they were pushing the limits so much and they went over there. Now, unless you already hold the track record of this track, I would suggest you to try to place, instead of your left tire here, to place your left tire here and see what happens. Possibly we can do even more, but what I noticed is that here it's still kind of black. You see this? This is kind of black in this area. Like until here it's kind of black. So I would think that the grip level here is still like 100, whereas here the grip is not 100, it's like 80 or something. Like I would suspect you have less grip there, you pick up some dirt. So if you ask me, okay, I would try to be using the whole of the track until the grip starts to fall down. You know what I mean? So I think if we place the tires over here, even though that's, oh my gosh, I really need some some drawing tutoring. So yeah, if we place the left tire over there, which is roughly like what, 30-40 centimeters, I'm quite sure you would have carried, like you would have gained some time. But listen, it's not like by just opening up the steering. Okay, don't get me wrong, it starts from the previous corner. If you carry more speed in the previous corner, for sure, if you had more speed here, you would be pushing more on the outside, right? It's quite obvious to me, right? I hope you understand. If you have more speed here, if in mid corner here you have like 80 kilometers an hour versus 75 kilometers an hour, for sure the 80 kilometers an hour is gonna go more wide than the 75, right? So it all comes down to the speed that you have in the mid corner, you have in this area, all right? And if you have a high speed, you're gonna get pushed out wider. If you have low speed, you're gonna stay more like tight, right? Think about it the opposite. If you had like 50 kilometers an hour speed, if you're like so slow, that's a very bad 5. But yeah, you for sure wouldn't end up over there unless you just open up the steering for like on purpose. But the cart, like the centrifugal force is not gonna push you out. You're gonna be like really lean to stay more tight, right? So I hope you understand my point. I don't want to make it like a physics class here, but yeah, just get what I'm saying. You could definitely use a bit more track there. This one is good. I mean, I don't think you should be too far wide to the left. Looks like there's less grip there, so that's pretty good. Apex perfectly. Opening up properly, that's good. Only thing I noticed, lost the frames. Let's do it again. I noticed we bounce over this curve, which is for sure never ideal. You try to be precise, but you weren't able to be perfectly precise. Now I know, like when you're pushing, this kind of things happen. So you obviously, the easy advice, yeah, the easy tip will be to just like be on the white line, on the groove actually, and not over the curve, but that you figure it out yourself. You don't need me to tell you that. Exit is fine. Now this one is, I think, okay, I was like watching this video for the first couple of times. I was like, okay, I think you should be able to run over this curb, like just like it did in turn 1. But there's a drain here, so I'm not sure if that drain is going to affect. But for sure, if you would be able to, open up a bit more to the left, like just climb over this. Okay, no, that's too much. Let's see what the hell are you saying? If you were to be able to just like cut over this, you would have a better angle for this corner, rather than if you just like went like that, as you're kind of doing right now, right? So try to experiment if you can use this, but if you can't because the drain is annoying, then just keep doing what you're doing. Just, the point is always to try to find a limit to opening up the track until it gets too much. Because it's like we're tight here. We're not able to be, like, if we'd had a chance to be to the left, for sure the corner would be faster. But I understand it's not easy, so you can figure it out on your own. Apex is good. Frames are not. That's not your fault, it's my fault. exit, I mean, yeah, we don't use the whole track, but I think there's a point. You want to bring it back there, so well done. Okay, here we bounce over the curb again. Let's watch it full speed for everyone. Yeah, you see we're bouncing a bit. So this corner, to be honest, I'm not a fan. Why? So we're bouncing because we turn a bit too early. But okay, so the easy advice would be just don't bounce, like just be on the wide line. But the thing is that we have so much space to the right side, like escape rope to run. So I think we should definitely use that. Look how much we're. I'm not suggesting you to be there. But if you're pushing like crazy, I would suggest you to just get close. Like instead of trying to keep it so tight over here, just turn a bit later and open up the steering more. Like you're forcing the car too much with your wheel. Try to open up the steering and let it go. By the way, there's all the black marks here. You see where this is important. Like this is gonna give you a lap time, even though it's a silly corner. But like this is, look at all the marks here. The black marks are here. With your right tires, you're not there. You're here. So you're not even on the perfect amount of grip. Now, yes, you're making less meters, but I promise you, you're scrubbing speed over here. So my advice for you would be like, just like open up the steering earlier and just let it run over the grip level and get close to the barriers. Now, not too much, of course, unless, you know, there's no need to, but I would definitely be more to the right. Yeah, I would definitely be more. You're going quite late. You're anyways going to prepare for the next corner, right? Aren't you? So I would do it earlier. This is a bit, look at that. You're keeping it tight here. And then you're like, okay, let's turn to the right. Look at your steering. You're actually kind of turning slightly to the right. So I think you should be doing it earlier. Just let it go. You see in this area, you should be already there. And on the brakes, I would be even close to the wall. Like, if you ask me, how can I go? Like, have you ever gone indoor karting? Like, I kind of like to go sometimes indoor karting, even though I don't really like the setup of those cars. But anyways, you have to adapt. But yeah, even though you're starting to watch the apex, so we can't see exactly where you are with your right tires. But I think we have some margin there. Let's see right before you start to hit the brakes, you have some margin there, and I think this is gonna give you a lap time if you are gonna get closer there. If you get closer to this area. So I'm not saying you have to be on the wall, but look, there's black marks all the way through. Now, maybe they're there because of some driver's mistakes or some crashes, but I think there's gonna be more grip there, mate. Try to be more to the right. Try to place your right tires here and your like left tires here. So that's gonna be like, your car is gonna be like that. Oh, that's a bent axle. No, you have to be more like that, and believe me, you're gonna have more mid speed in the mid corner afterwards, because you're gonna be wider. The yellow will be wider than the blue. Will be slightly wider, not a big one, but yeah, the wider you are, the better. Of course, there's a limit, but look, the good thing is that it's nice and black here. It means there's grip over there. So I would suspect you can use more track there, almost to the point of clipping the barrier. So I would suggest you to do that. You're gonna find lap time there. I can almost bet something for that. Let's go. Braking seems quite hard. Possibly we could do a bit harder braking, but yeah, I can hear the lockup, not that aggressively, but it's kind of aggressively. Apex is spot on. You were not fully using the track, I think on purpose to prepare for the next one. So I'm fine with this. Nice jump over the curb. Nice jump. What about this one? This is good. I think this is good. We could possibly use a bit more track to the left. Let's watch it again full speed for all of you. It's actually a fun section to watch. Really nice. Yeah, the apexes are good. You use the curbs properly. I think this is good, man. Just use a bit more track. I think that could be... Because look, as long as you carry more speed here, remember it's always a thing. If you have more speed here, automatically you will use more track. And you also have some banking nicely here, so you can carry nice amount of speed. I think you're not like I think we're just lifting here. Let me see. Maybe we're tapping the brakes. I don't know exactly. Can't see that from the here. But yeah, for sure you can carry more speed here. Either pick up the gas earlier or just like make less of a lift or like brake less. But yeah, if you have more speed, if you have more speed, for sure you're gonna end up in a little bit on the wider side, and I think that's gonna be fine. This is good. This is great. And I think this is good. So no comments for the last two corners, which are, by the way, really fun. Let's watch them again. Really nice to see. Using the curbs properly, I really like this. You are breaking over the curb. You're like, I don't know if we can do more. I don't know if it's gonna bottom here. Like I'm just thinking the extreme side, you know. What if we could use a bit more? But I don't think you can. Otherwise, everybody would be like breaking like absolutely next to the barrier. Like, yeah, there starts to be some marble here, so I wouldn't go there. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. I was just thinking out loud in my head if you could use a bit more to just open up to get a better exit, but I don't think you can. I think you're just gonna end up bottoming a bit too much under the floor tray. So yeah, I think you're gonna lose a bit. Apex is great, really good. I think you just pick up the gas too late, mate. The goal would be to, because you are launching down a kind of semi-long straight, I think we could just be a bit earlier on the gas, if you ask me. If I had to change anything in this corner, the entry would do the same. Because we pick up the gas past the apex, quite a bit past the apex. We are on the gas here. So maybe we can try to get at the apex. If we could get on the gas here, like right at the apex, I think we're going to get a slightly better exit, even though you're using the track properly, which is good. But let's see it again. I think like a 50 centimeters earlier pickup of the throttle. Yeah, I think that's gonna help because we're a tiny bit late. But overall, good lap, really fun track to watch. And I think if you work on those couple of areas, you're gonna find lap time. So I hope that helps. We'll see you.